Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hicksydust and this is part 2 of my Jurassic World Evolution playthrough. On the first episode I told you guys that I like to put down the rails for the track first and kind of build inwards towards the park. Well, we've done that, so now we're going to take a look at some of the back behind the scenes, like your operational buildings to help you run the park. One of your buildings that is of vital importance is going to be your ranger station. If your dinosaurs get sick or if you need to refill your feeders, these are the buildings that you're going to go to, or these are the teams you're going to go to. I always like to put them kind of out away from the crowds. Ranger stations have a tendency to just drive through crowds of people. Now, nothing will happen if they happen to do that. Passengers kind of just get force pushed away from the car. But it's just a little aesthetic that I like to avoid, which is what I also mentioned in the first video with just aesthetic choices. And I'm going to use these fences here. They're not just good just to keep your dinosaurs in, but they can also provide a nice little aesthetic if you choose to use them as such. So I'm going to make like a security divider around the ranger station to keep people away from the cars themselves. You see the parking lot's right here, your cars will right here, and then they can go through. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put down these gates. This is how your cars get from A to B throughout the park. As so. We're going to connect a path to the rest of the park because nothing will work unless it is attached to the arrival point in some fashion. So we're just going to make a path. I'm going to connect it to the hatchery that we made in episode 1. And there you go. Now, it doesn't have power yet, but you can still drive the cars. And this is useful if you have like a power outage, if a storm hits your island and the power goes out, you can still drive the cars. They just won't be able to move on their own. And the neat thing between the gates is they will automatically open for your cars when they're in proximity. This only works for the ranger vehicles, so don't worry about your gates opening if like your park tour truck will drive by. That proximity only works for the ranger teams themselves. So we're going to go through some of our other operation buildings which we'll need to have in place before we start. The other being the ACU unit. Again, I'm going to try to keep this up and away. I like to keep all of my operations buildings separate, and again, that's just more of like a security thing, an aesthetic. You know, if you're running an actual park, you wouldn't want like just your operations buildings open for just anybody to walk in. So I try to group them together as so. Perfect. What else you'll need is your greenhouses. Now, they added a nice little bonus for your herbivores with one of the DLCs with Claire's Sanctuary, where it's kind of like an alternate storytelling of Jurassic World 2, where you have to save the dinosaurs on Isla Nublar, and so they make greenhouses for you to make specialized diets for your dinosaurs, which will give them health boosts or health bonuses. I always build 2 because each can only hold up to 5, and there's 10 plants in total. As those are going, we'll make another path. You want to try and keep them as close to the boundary of the park as possible. In case you want to build buildings outwards, you're not taking up all of your space. Go. Okay. We're going to put down a substation. We're going to use a large substation in this fact. It's going to cover more area. Okay. And I'm going to make a small substation just for the greenhouses over here. connect our our substations, excuse me, with our power pylons, and that that'll secure this part of the park. Nice. So now we have that system in play, and we can start focusing inwards. I always like to make a little sub ring in the middle of the park, and you'll see why. Give me one sec. I'm going to use the concrete wall. If you guys watch Attack on Titan, this might bring some flashbacks. Okay, and there you go. You have your nice little ring in the middle of the park. And what I like to do here is I like to make our own little, like, viewing area, I guess would be the best way to put that. Kind of like in the middle of the park looking outwards. So you're going to go to your enclosures, and you're going to have these little viewing platforms. Now, it's not just enough to have the dinosaurs. Like, you're going to have your park that's going to go around, but you need visibility bonuses, and in order to do that, you're going to need viewing platforms. You're going to need your guests to be able to see your dinosaurs. Just going to space them out every other wall. Go. We're going to connect them all with a path. Since this is kind of like the main attraction of the park, I like to use the fancy path, the more expensive path. Like I said, this is sandbox mode, so money's not really an option in this. I mean, money's not an option. Money's not a real obstacle in this version of the game. You can just have fun with it. Alright, there we go. Sorry, that was... Okay. Now you can start wrapping around. Okay, now I know what you guys are thinking, or might be thinking. How do we connect this to our arrival point? Because as I said before, everything has to at least somewhat touch the arrival point. Well, the way we do that is we have the monorail system. So this helps you to create like sections of the park or subsects of the park and still connect them to the visitor center, or the arrival point, sorry. So we're going to make a track, we're going to make a station over here, and we're going to put another station here now in our ring. So you talked a little bit about aesthetics before, and you're not going to really want your dinosaurs walking through your monorail track. That would be pretty dangerous. You wouldn't want like a triceratops or like an ankylosaur to like ram one of your support beams. Not possible in the game, but it's just a nice little aesthetic that you can keep in mind, and then you can use these fences to just build around that and make sure that your track is safe. Like I said, I haven't seen it happen where you can have your dinosaurs attack the monorail station, but it's just a nice little aesthetic, something to keep in mind. It also helps separate your park for the next pens, for the dinosaur pens that you want to create. And we're just going to do so again around the other legs of the track. And there you go. And what you can do now is you can run power cables in the same fashion. Because again, it just aesthetically, you wouldn't want just power pylons hanging out with your dinosaurs. And you're going to make a new substation to start and power up this section of your park. Make some more fencing. Obstructed. All right. Perfect. So now we have this middle area. We can divide it so that our pylons are not in the same, or not viewing the same dinosaur. Pylons, our viewing platforms. Perfect. And now we have ourselves a little pen, and we can decide which dinosaur we want to start with. Connect. We're going to power up the section, the inner ring. Alright guys, my timer is going off, so that lets me know that we're basically almost done with today's video. There you go. And we'll basically be set to set this up again next time. So again guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you turn in next time.